Reaction to the latest controversy in the Trinity United Church. With us now, former vice presidential candidate Geraldine Ferraro, who has been personally involved in the Obama controversy, as everyone knows.
Thanks for bringing that up again.
Come on, everyone knows. Yeah. No spins on. All right, what do you think about this?
I'm angry at two different people or institutions. First of all, I'm Catholic, the Catholic Church. This has been going on with this man, as you've pointed out, for quite a while.
Decades.
I mean, when do you fire somebody like that?
Cardinal George doesn't have the courage to do that in Chicago.
Well, I have to tell you something. I mean, he has to get the courage. Many of us Catholics are fed up on how they did not. They put this whole pedophile thing behind them.
But he was one of the cowards in that, too,
well,
George.
And so you can't do it again to us. I mean,
well, he is, and he won't fire him.
Well, I have to tell you something. Since that man is political from the pulpit, somebody should contact the Internal Revenue Service and say, hey, you know, you get tax abatements for all this stuff. You're not taxed. This Catholic does not want to continue paying for that stupidity. That's my first anger. My second anger is with, it's not so much with Obama, believe it or not. I mean, he gets stuck with these people coming up from nowhere, except he has belonged to that church for 20 years. The new pastor, when he introduced this guy, and I think you showed an introduction one other night, when he introduced this guy, it was my friend has come in here.
Oh, no, this guy Flager, he's a big Obama supporter, tied in with the church, absolutely.
But he got up there, and not only was he sexist and racism has become such an issue in this campaign, but it's not just whites against blacks, that's all, blacks against whites. When you turn around and you say to yourself, well, gee, that's terrible, you can't shut up this nut, Obama can't be responsible for him. But you know what Obama is responsible for him, what he can do? He's responsible for everybody in that church who got up and cheered and got excited.
Why is he responsible for that?
Well, because he has been with them for the past 20 years.
But I can't control what people in my church do.
I'm not saying you can control them. But he turns around, and these are the people that he never talks to. These are the people he should turn around and say, what are you doing? That is not, I mean, if he's trying to say that the Reverend Wright didn't preach this stuff, why are they up doing this?
Well, Obama came out today and said this was divisive and bad and this and anything. All right, but what? Say you're running Obama's campaign now, Ms. Ferraro, because you did run for vice president. You know what goes on at that level. Do you tell Obama to give a speech in the Trinity United Church and chastise his followers there?
When you say that the Catholic Church doesn't have enough backbone to fire this priest,
absolutely not.
I don't think Obama does either.
But would you advise him to do that?
You know, I have to tell you, I'm hearing from all of those not educated blue-collar workers, whites, and what they're saying to me are things like, you know, if you're white, you can't speak up. I have to tell you, Bill, there is a tremendous amount, they could care less what color it is. They resent what's happening to them racially. And everybody's talked about how this has been terrific and the healing things on racism. I don't think so. I think this campaign has brought racism to the fore in such a negative, awful way.
Well, it's definitely been nasty.
It has
but
been
I want to
awful.
get back to your contention that Obama is responsible for the people in a congregation jumping up and screaming and affirming what Flager, who is a nut, we know he is. We're going to play another soundbite coming up that's just even more offensive than what you just heard. But I'm not sure Senator Obama could do anything to convince the people in that church who are activists. It's an activist church.
Well, you know what? One of the first things he should do is say, I'm sorry, I not only don't agree with the Reverend Wright and this Reverend, I'm out of here, because when I see when I see the people in this church who I thought were my friends getting up and condoning racism and sexism, it's not for me. Now, will he do that?
No.
Why did he join the church in the first place?
For political reasons.
That's exactly. And so, where are you going to go? You're going to go to your core and be critical of your core?
Well, I don't think he's going to do that. Now, when you say that Flager's remarks were racist,
oh, awful. Yeah, racism works in two different directions, as you know, Bill.
Why do you think they're racist?
Well, look what he did. First of all, he ridiculed Hillary, a female, and so it was sexist. But in addition, I'm a white person. I mean, he did that whole, he turned the accent. All of a sudden, when he's speaking normally on the street, he speaks just like you and I.
Isn't he just saying that some white people are bigoted and don't want to see a black elected?
Well, how does this man, who I assume has not had a relationship with his mother, with anybody since his mother held him in her arms, I mean, he's a Catholic priest. We assume that he's celibate and has never dealt with a woman. How does he know what's in the brain and the head of a white woman who's running for president? Tell me how he knows
Well,
that.
he didn't say that, though. He just said, in his opinion, she thought she was entitled to the job.
He said, I'm entitled. I know what she said. He's saying what he believes is in her head. He's attributing words to her. What do you think those people were up there smiling and laughing about? I'm white.
I read it a little bit differently. I read it that he came out and said that Hillary Clinton thought she was entitled to this because she was Bill's wife and a white person, and that a lot of white people don't want a black to be president. I'll give you the last word.
Well, you know what? If it was said like that, I would agree with you. But if you go back and listen to how he said it, he was putting words in her mouth.
It was inflammatory. There's no question about it.
It was terrible. It was, and it was racist.
Geraldine, nice to have you here. Thanks for